All right. I say, love yourself. And everybody's like, I do. Or a lot of people are like, well, I'm trying. And some people are like, yeah, I don't like myself. Well, you're not doing it right. I'm sorry to tell you, and I don't really care, but I've never been happier, and I can't tell you how happy it makes me feel. And the people that run into me, I'm sure they'll tell you that I kind of glow because I love myself and I love others. It's hard to get there, but you got to start with loving yourself because it's so powerful. The emotion, the feeling, the um, you know what I'm talking about. Love, the feeling. Do that to yourself. That's how you heal. Um, it can be hard getting there. We're programmed not to love ourselves. A lot of us are super duper duper programmed not to love ourselves, but then, everybody gets a little dose of it. Be- uh, how do they do it? How do we do it? How do you turn out not loving yourself? So let me just give you my perspective, okay? Um, Looking back on life, it's hard, right? Um, an example, right? My mother had cancer when I was 12 ish. And my grandpa came in, and I didn't want to go to the hospital. I was worried my mom was going to die. I was convinced if I went there, she would die. And who knows? My grandpa came in and got him an inch away from my face and told me, "You better get off your ass and get to that hospital, you shithead." and, or you little asshole, one or the other. It was mean. But I always beat myself up over it. 34 years later, I should have went to the hospital. I should have loved my mother. I should have. And every time it pops up, it's an I should have thought. And then you run down all your I should have thoughts. And the next thing you know, you're Marty McFly going back in your Back to the Future, going to punch your 6-year-old self, right? Well, that shit ain't real. It's not real. Um, if I move out the emotions of that event, I was an angry old man abusing a child instead of giving them emotional comfort. You have to understand your kid, your 12-year-old, is a human. And he gets all the same rights. And where my programming, and they'll all attest to this, but we were the seen and not heard kids. There was a whole generation of us, right? But that means we didn't develop a lot of emotional skills. Most importantly, communication. And then feeling each other's, because communication requires emotion just like everything else. If I talk to you and I can't get you to feel for what I'm saying, doesn't matter. Which is what they've done with social media is they've turned you into a mindless robot. After 20 minutes of any activity, your brain will shut off. It goes into gray matter, like ghost mode. I've played video games my whole life. I've kept up with the research on this forever. I like playing Destiny because it's 20-minute slots, and then I can wander around the tower acting like a fool when I'm not paying attention before I get my focus back and go do something. Otherwise, I make everybody angry, which is accountability. And I don't want to make them angry, so I make them laugh, and then they don't know what to do, really. But I hope we work through it. It was a little uncomfortable, but it's okay. Um, Love yourself at all costs. We gotta. You're not too short, too fat, too skinny, too tall, too. You're perfect. Logically. I want to say logically. All this shit I'm talking about is just logic. It's percentage probabilities of the most likely outcomes based on the evidence that I've been given, based on my hugely enriched perspective that stands out. And I'm looking for people with bigger ones so I can learn more, please. Or really super duper smart people on any of the topics that I talk about. Start a chat with me on LinkedIn or something, because we need to make progress, please. Please. It's important. But anyway, love yourself. No delimiting thoughts. How does that work? Well, you can't do it at first because you have trauma. So I found EMDR therapy very helpful, which is just trauma-based or image-based therapy. But essentially what you have to do is understand that every one of your memories is in your head is a lesson. It's a lesson not to make that decision again. It's a lesson not to let that person hurt you again. It's a lesson, whatever it is. Your mind is only telling you the things that you needed to know. Think about, it can't hold it all. The brain becomes efficient in storing energy, right? You got to store so much energy. It's just like a computer. It starts off, at 2 megs or some nonsense. And as a human, we can build it up to 2 gigs, but we got to learn how to move each one of the dials to get better. But inadvertently, I hope, I don't think it is, but we've developed buckets of humans using marketing, right? How does marketing work? Fear, anger, guilt, resentment, right? Hope, positivity, generosity, and cheer. They have to grab one of those emotions and they have to tweak it. Play it like a guitar string. And they got 30 seconds to do it. Right? Those are the 8 options. Well, over here, on the anger, fear, and guilt, and resentment side, those are easy strings to pluck. Everybody's there most of the time. Pluck that string, force human behavior. Create buckets of people who are programmed to find resentment, programmed to find fear, programmed to find anger, right? Programmed to find guilt and shame, right? Through our environment around us, because we like emotion. We like the feeling we get. Doesn't matter which one. But we only have so much we can hold of this energy. That's another reason you turn off when you're coasting through TikTok, is your brain's like, it's enough of this shit. Right? Right? And the only time you're going to stop is if something makes you laugh real hard. Pissed about it. That's with all the conspiracy theories. It's like drugs to your body. It's giving you the same energy as cocaine, probably. You'd have to test scientists would have to test that. But a really funny video, man, a girl and I laughed our asses off forever about a dude that'd go up and whisper in people's ear in the store. It was so dang funny. People reacting the way they did. Fall over laughing. We always laughed about it, right? That's energy to our universe. That's a good one. Right? And that's why the devil can't win, because everybody likes those emotions. And in order for him to win, everything's got to go black. And even the darkest of souls are going to laugh about shit, so there's no hope for him. We're good. But love yourself. So, everybody says, well, my mind's running 1,000,000 miles an hour. And everyone thinks that theirs runs the fastest. How fast you run is just how quick your processor is, right? And many of us got a real quick processor from a very specific activity that we didn't know about. But when you go into freeze mode, then we talked about the cop in the kitchen when she fell off. She just froze. When that happens, what I would suggest is your id spirit, the thing running around up there, is desperate to turn it back on. What happened to the switches? I always think about In and Out, the movie. Joy is the important character, but sadness gets lost. But yeah, dial it in, right? Love yourself. Love yourself. That's important. You gotta love yourself. And I got stuck there for a reason. Okay, but all day, every day, you don't think the fastest over everybody. You just don't. And we'll get to that in the next video because we're at 11 minutes.